see, each person mindset are different, and each jurisdictions the mindset differs. Like if I give you example of India, we have a mindset of trying to prolong the dispute rather than resolving it. So likewise, different people have different mindset. What actually goes behind the mindset of people involved in mediation? Over to you, Olga.
Olga, your microphone is off.
Now you'll be able to unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you very much. I wasn't able to unmute. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good everything, because we are from different continents. I would like, first of all, to congratulate Mr. Samir Sam for this excellent initiative to put together all the continents today. And I would like to thank my esteemed colleagues for this collaboration, and of course the attendees that are willing to be with us together here today. I would like to reply to the question that is, what is the psychology in mediation in the side of mediators, parties, and of course advocates. The two professionals that decide to approach mediation. Please, next slide. Could you please change the slide? Thank you. The two professionals that decide to approach mediation, at least as training, are lawyers, because they think that dispute resolution is their field, their area, and psychologists because they think they can manage feelings and behaviors. Next slide, please. Next slide. When we talk about psychology in mediation, we are not referring, of course, to Freud's theories or other psychologists. Psychology is approached by sides, mediators, lawyers, and of course parties. On the side of mediator, the psychology has the meaning of skills that he or she has to show in order to help parties to reach mutual accepted decision. On the side of lawyers, that means that psychology means that he has the manner of prevailing against the other party, because at least in Greece, lawyers are not educated for mediation, so they think that mediation is something like battle in courts. Of course, the psychology of parties means that they have some hard feelings because they lead them, they have distracted relationships, and these feelings may be because of their culture, their personality, or their education. Beginning from mediators, especially when he or she is designed for a dispute with diversities, and when we talk about diversities, we mean different culture, religious, sexual orientation, and other differences. This means that the mediator shall be properly educated in order not to ruin the procedure. Mediator has the responsibility to be careful enough in order to help parties with different backgrounds achieving a satisfying dispute resolution. The danger becomes bigger in family disputes, where emotions take a larger place in comparison with commercial disputes, where disputes are not depending on emotion, at least as the major portion. Because in commercial disputes, there is a principle that is talking about pacta sunt servanda, so emotions go in the side. In my country, Greece, and in local mediation, there are many things that mediator may face. Mediator has to be familiar with the history of mediation in Greece, because the birth of mediation was not widely accept it. I want to remind to the Greek mediators who attend today's event that the first mediation law in Greece was in 2010, and after 10 years we are not completely accepted mediation as an institution that can help, of course, justice to be for all. Psychology of mediators in Greece in local disputes has the meaning of the effort that mediators have to act in order to face all the resistance, all the denial, and all the bad mood of the legal professionals. And of course, the parties who are led by their lawyers. That mood will be defined below because in general, we can say that in Greece, the legal world is opposite towards ADR in general, and of course mediation, because they feel insecurity for the future of the legal profession. Mediators have to try more than is expected to convince all lawyers who consider mediators as enemies or something that is really not necessary. Mediators have from the beginning heavy duties to overcome the situation and to establish the confidence of lawyers. First, because if mediators convince parties' lawyers about their integrity, confidentiality, partiality, and all these principles that they cover, then, and of course, the great knowledge of its item, its topic, and convince that they have skills, then lawyers can convince their parties to trust this institution. So the duty for mediators is very heavy. Greek mediators feel the difference in local mediation in comparison with cross-border mediation, where their role is well established. Mediators also have the duty to understand the aspects of conflict, which include the diversity of problem-solving approaches, communication and negotiation styles, ways of making compromises, the sense of physical space, venue, and time, attitudes toward the mediation, and the response to law, lawyers and professionals, advisors, and all this is the duty of mediators. In general, mediators have the ability to understand the specific cultural context of the dispute, for example, whether it stems from family, community, workplace, industrial, commercial, or international context. The issue of time is also significant for some cultural groups because the right time indicates the maturity of a dispute. If a dispute is not mature enough, no outcome may come. In this point, mediators have to play somehow the role of psychologists with a very wide aspect, to offer support through the guidance of a dispute equally to both parties, cultivate trust and confidence for the parties and lawyers and the procedures through the venue of time of caucuses, through his or her personality, which shall be accessible to and neutral to all. Mediators show empathy during the proceedings and so that he or she is completely familiar to the dispute and its elements and parameters. And of course, to prove neutrality and confidentiality in every stage of procedure, and especially after the end of mediation, no matter the outcome. For all the above, unique role played the preliminary meetings. That means the meetings before the initiation of mediation, when mediator meets each party with the lawyers and discuss mostly in general in order to create all the above confidence in the face of mediator. So when mediation begins, mediator shall feel very confident because he has established all the preconditions in order to succeed in his role or her role. But this is not as easy as it's heard. Many times this confidence is never established, even if the outcome of mediation is satisfactory, or even if it is established in the beginning, may be destroyed in the way. So every case is unique, but personality of mediator play major role, of course, ad hoc, not for general side. Then we can talk about the mediation, the parties' psychology. They have very stressable psychology. Many things have to take into consideration. The power difference, if any, different perspectives, issues of the confidence, for confidence to the institution of mediation or the mediator himself or herself, and all these matters that they don't know. Parties don't know where they are going. They are only directed by lawyers and, of course, mediators. So they have these hard feelings. For instance, and from psychological perspective, a dominant of inferior culture could have a great influence on the party, which may depend on identity, relations, and confidence level during the mediation process. Such identity could be due to a person's skin color, religious, language, accent, gender, or sexual representation, status, or position. The most difficult thing is someone to trust another who may influence his or her life. Parties shall be a way to increase confidence towards the mediator, who may be a third nurturer, but still a third is a third, even if he is neutral. But also the parties shall show confidence to each other because they are the steering stars, so they may resolve their problems. So they have to establish the lost confidence. And that is the very difficulty, because after having been ruined relationships, they are going to fix them again and start putting relationships into a correct order with the assistance of a third person first. If they can manage that, the relationships will be reborn like a phoenix. And of course, last but not least, at least for Greece, lawyers play a huge part in the procedure. From the beginning, they have influence even whether there is going to be a mediation or not. Parties have a strong affair with their lawyers, at least in Greece. Lawyers are professionals that rely on very traditional methods, and they think that courts are above all, and nothing is behind courts or apart from courts. They don't consider that they act as legal professional when they are talking about mediation, where they are standing in mediation. In that case, they prefer to resolve the disputes alone, not with the help of mediators. So they are very aggressive when they first reach the first meetings of mediation. The reasons are many, but we will not stress them now because we don't have the time. We will stress only the psychology of them reaching the initials of mediation. They are putting a wall before them, mostly when they are reaching mediators. And mediators for first time, and mostly if they have not been trained as advocates in mediation. If that wall will fall through the duration of the procedure, they are being convinced that their role is very crucial, then the mediation will have a good outcome and at least a good procedure. Lawyers start acting to the right situation when they are convinced that they have a great role. And they start feeling that they are sine qua non in the procedure. I would like not to talk more because I may talk for many hours, but I think that these were the most significant parts in the procedure from the aspect of mediators, lawyers, and parties. And I would like to hear my colleagues for more information. Thank you very much. Sorry for that anxious because I couldn't unmute my microphone and this had an effect.
That's really a very nice start for this topic, Olga, and thank you for giving us the insight of the psychology of mediation from the perspective of Greece. And if I now invite Tony to just answer this question from the perspective of Vietnam. So over to you, Tony.
First of all, thank you, Samir, for inviting me to this amazing webinar, and also Olga for starting it very nicely. I don't think that I should spend a lot of time because we do not have much time for all the speakers to talk too much. And I have a separate session on contra impact on the psychology of mediation. So I only want to share one point in relation to the